How's it going? Here you guys want to get into Warhammer 10th edition. There's multiple ways, multiple entries into it, but we're going to start off with the first, and that's the introductory set. We'll have a look at all the other boxes, but for a beginner, you're probably best starting off with this, and that's the introductory set. £40, fair Games Workshop shop officially. Go online if you want to try and find something cheaper. How much value in the box? So you're getting 2 units. You're getting Infernus Marines, you're getting Termagants, you get Ripper Swarm, you get dice, you get a ruler, and you get a bunch of paints. And even though those paints, you may feel like you don't want to be the Ultramarines. Not everybody's going to want to be the Ultramarines. But it is a great basis to start off with, and it certainly does. It gives you a feel if you're even going to like this game. Because for the most part of it, you're going to be building and painting these models, and that's probably going to take you most of your time, even before you get into a game. But don't let that persuade you off. It's actually a lot of fun, and the more and more that you do it, the better and better you get, the more exciting it is to know that you're going to be painting a new model. The Infernus Marines are great, and so are the Termagants. This kind of basis for the cheapest buy-in is to split this with someone else. But if you're someone that's never done it, it's a great experience to go in and try and paint both of these units. You do get the book that you do get isn't the most informative, but it's not meant to be. It's just meant to be a little introductory into the game. It's an ideal present. Separately, these aren't enough to actually field an army. If you then go in to get into the combat patrol, or even into the starter sets, it's just extra units to bump up your points values. I know Macragge Blue, you might not want to go Ultramarines, but the rest of the paints you certainly are going to use. And even if you aren't going Ultramarines, give it a go. The only thing you would need is you do get the starter brush and you're happy with that. And the other thing I would recommend is certainly making yourself a wet palette. And that'll take you literally minutes. Some tissue, wet it, put it in a lid, wet it, drain off the excess water, put a bit of parchment paper down, you're good to go. It will thin it down. Don't use those palettes or using a normal palette or the palette paper for Games Workshop. I just feel like your paint will just be, you'll look away, you'll look back, you'll get a couple of minutes use and the paint will be dry. It's no useful to anybody. So it's always good getting in a row with using the wet palette because your paints will last forever. I would also recommend getting a scraper tool. It'll only be a couple of pounds, you can get it for pretty much anywhere. I got this in the Combat Patrol magazine, and since I've been using it, I couldn't highly recommend that anymore and getting rid of those mould lines. Mould lines wasn't something that bothered me, but the more and more you paint, the more and more you notice them. And it's certainly handy to have. The set's going to set you back roughly about £40. Online, it's probably going to be a lot cheaper. You'll get that 20% discount. But as a starter, for someone that's really just want to dip to one, it's certainly your best option. So this is the stuff that you'll get within the box. So you'll get the 6 dice, you'll get the ruler, and you'll get the handbook. This just gives you guide how to build, your paints, how to paint them, how things should look like. Didn't be disheartened. That's the one my wee boy done, just with the paints inside. It's you get plenty full, and then if you want to go a little bit more advanced, that's my first ones that have dry brushing. It's not the best, but they were the first units I ever done when I was just getting into it. But what we're going into is you've got this small story, the Space Marines, some factions in general, and their fight with the never-ending swarm, the Tyranids. And in this edition, it is the High Fleet Leviathan. Some awesome artwork. Like the actual Tyranids, there's no actual machinery. Their ships are just bigger Tyranids. And then we've got, you got a couple of scenarios. The mat is kind of made, it's got them so you can use them as walls. That's what we're going to do. You get a couple of scenarios, and then you get Breach and Clear, Hunt in the Void. So that's what we're going to do. That's the game that we're going to play. So that's it. Hunters into the Void. A crusading force of Space Marines has been sent to investigate a distress signal from a vital world. As the Space Marine strike cruiser nears the planet, the truth becomes clear. The Tyranids are here, and in force. Huge bioships disgorge boarding parties of termagants onto the Space Marine vessels to destroy them from within. The Tyranids are notorious for their horrific effectiveness in space combat. Their bioships use vast tentacles and crushing claws to infest enemy vessels with hordes of Tyranid bioforms. However, may have met their match. The Space Marines are masters of warfare, on the ground and in the stars. Their cruisers are fast and deadly, using hailsy torpedoes, laser batteries and elite boarding squads in order to surgically dismantle enemy fleet pieces. This battle hangs on a single skirmish. The Space Marine strike cruiser has been attacked by invading termagants, who intend to destroy the ship's network of generators in order to dismantle its weapons and shields. A squad of Infernus Marines must purge these invaders and restore power to the strike cruiser. Should they fail, the ship will be annihilated and all aboard will be devoured by the Tyranids. So right now that is our mission. We have the Space Marines have to deploy up here, the Tyranids down there. So, well, I guess I have these guys round the wrong way lined up. I don't think we'll have a Ripper Swarm in this fight. So we've got our 10 Tyranids and Infernus Marines, and I really love the look of the Infernus Marines. So in this mission we're actually going to be basing this on our movement, our shoot and our charge in fighting close combat, where we try and capture an objective. How to win. The base of at least one of the models is entirely in enemy's deployment zone. No enemy models have their base entirely within their own deployment zone. So that's us. Let's get into this game. We'll move this out of the way. We've got our data cards. These are not the same as the data cards that are in actual Leviathan this year's codex. It's just basic, attack hits, what saves, what doesn't save, and our number of attacks. So here we go. What are we going to do? We'll start off by Space Marine roll, 5, 4 for Tyranids. So the Space Marines will go first. So we get the stick that's provided, and we can move 6 inches for base to base. So we can move there, and then pretty much all the unit can move. And now we have the Tyranids' turn. They can also move 6, and there is that Ripper Swarm. So are we wanting to get, we maybe don't want them to, we need to get a shoot. So from what it looks like, there's, everybody's only got 1, so I need to get within 12 inches. So that's to there, they're plenty. For base to base, 4 can attack. Tyranids have 1 attack. Attacks on 4s. Just 1 attack. Space Marine will save that on a 4. Oh, a 1. So 1 damage goes through. How we would normally do it is we would put a little marker to say that it's been damaged. Just going to put a little marker behind this guy here. Then in turn we go back to the Space Marines, who can full on move. And they can lay waste. 5 guys, 5 dice. Actually 4 guys, because the sergeant is somebody else. Same attacks though, so no, but they get 3 attacks. They get 2 attacks. So 4 on 3s, 2. Because they get 2 attacks, we'll do 4s again. So we've got 2, 3. So we've only got 3 attacks. Attacking on 3s, all make it. So it's up to the Tyranids on 5s to save those attacks. The 0 attacks go through, so that is 3 attacks. So that's 1, 2, 3 taken off the board. Now we've got the sergeant who's got 3 attacks on 3s. That's 5. I'll roll that because that just fell in my hand. 4, so that's 3 successful attacks, and it's up to the Tyranids to save. 1, 5. 1 did get saved, 2 go through, so that's 2 more Tyranids. So that is them. That is their attack. So now we're going into the charge, because we're within the 12-inch range. You roll 2 dice. We plenty made it. So we can charge in. And cause... Right, so we also know this. This first model, base-to-base contact. Who can fight is someone who's in base-to-base contact or someone else that's in base-to-base contact. So that Space Marine touching that Space Marine can touch that Tyranid. Same with the sergeant here at the back. So they're all in engagement. because we've moved within 1 inch. Going back to scenario 2, so 3s, so 4, 5 and 6. 1 makes it, and their saves will be the same. Saving on 5s. 1 save, 2 hit. Oh, it's not looking good for the Tyranids. So now it's the Tyranids' turn to attack. Attacks on 4s. So 2 attacks. Saves for the Space Marines. Oh, 2 saves. So yeah, it's certainly not looking good for the Tyranids. So it goes back to the Tyranids' turn. And in this, I guess this Termagaunt's got the Ripper Swarm's got to try and move. Then I'm going to go in for the charge of him. 3. Oh, is that enough? What is? So that's in. They're already base-to-base contact. Move this one here. So that's 2 attacks for the Tyranids on 4s. Go through. Saves. 4s. Oh, 1 down. That is 1 Space Marine down. And now 3 attacks for the Ripper Swarm on 4s. 2 attacks go through and saves on 4s. No one gets saved. That's 3 attacks going through. So that's another Space Marine down. And 1 is injured. So now it's back to the Space Marines, and we have We have 2 intercessors, so we'll just roll the 4 for their 4 attacks. 3 6s, 1 2. So that is the Tyranids' turn to save on 5s. Ooh, 1 down. 2 dead. Lonely. Now we've got the captain. Is his 3 attacks going to go through on 3s? 2 go through. Tyranids save on 5s. Oh, 1 5. 1 dead. So it's just the Ripper Swarm against these. Guess this is it. The Ripper Swarm's got no chance. There's too many attacks. Can I save this on the 5? No, I can't. Ripper Swarm's dead. So that's it. That's the kind of game that you're going to get with Introductory Set. You do get these walls, but I don't think they ever actually. They just didn't fit right. So I've never used them. I prefer just imagining. You can't see when you're there. So you can keep replaying the mission, doing the shooting, doing the rolling, see what you like. So I really hope you liked that game out of the magazine within the Introductory Set. I know the Introductory Set doesn't give you much, but it certainly gives you enough to get you started. So in our next episode, we're going to see what other steps we take to get further in this game. So I'll see you guys on the next episode.